interesting. I was curious your perspective on the Live Nation stuff, because I follow one of my favorite artists is John Bellion. He did a podcast recently, but he was talking about his Live Nation situation where he basically quit music because of it, which was,
I saw that.
You saw that, yeah. So it's kind of insane. I mean, at the end of the day, everybody signs their own contract. So I'm like, John, you got to read the contract before you sign. But it's like, you know, he signed the deal, he got this advance, and then after selling out Jones Beach, he realizes, oh, I'm gonna have to do like 20 or 30 of these shows to pay back the advance and make the money. Do you think some of this has to change within the music industry for just, I don't know, live music to thrive, or do you think it is what it is, like with the state of live music?
It's an interesting question, because other than John, I haven't really heard that level of story. I don't know, maybe because people are slightly afraid to be transparent.
Yeah, exactly. It's like if you work with Live Nation, you don't want to talk against them, and then you never get a show ever again. So I think there's a lot of that in the industry, but I do think there is some of it where, you know, John's probably a really creative. There's creative artists that they don't even want to deal with the business side. They want to write, they want to show up to the show, and they want to know like they can get paid. And then when they pull back the curtain, they see kind of how everything's made, and they're like, wait, you're not going to pay me for the parking, you're not going to pay me for the snacks, and like you have the right to raise my ticket prices however you want. Like I don't know, they get like bitter about it.
I like to look at it similar to a record deal.
Right?
Like you sign a record deal and get an advance, and if you don't know what you're doing in the industry, you don't realize that every single expense is going to be written against it. And not only is it going to be written against it, but it's going to be written against it at like 15%, right?
Yeah.
So
they're going to add extra charges in there.
Yeah, so for every 100,000 that the record makes, you're only making back 15 grand of the expense, for which you basically have to do 10x to like make any money, right? So those types of deals, like we've never done those types of deals. You know, it's interesting from a lot. Like Live Nation will go with like a Taylor Swift and guarantee X amount, or Drake and guarantee X amount of money. I think it's kind of up to the individual artist.
Yeah, 100%.
Understand.
I agree. I know there was something with like Ticketmaster, like people were gonna hit them with, I don't know, are they like a monopoly?
Laws
Yeah, antitrust, like they're a monopoly, because I don't know if it's like they own the venues, but they're also selling tickets and then they can resell them off of that. I don't know how it qualifies as antitrust, but I don't know. I know a lot of like artists are kind of looking at Ticketmaster and some of these sites like with a side eye a little bit, like, what are you guys doing?
Well, yeah, Live Nation owns Ticketmaster and owns the venues, and you know gets the refreshments and bars, and like they have all of the ancillary income, right?
Because there's been a lot of artists, whether it's like Luke Combs or these people, and they're like, I had no idea they were charging that like
$1,000 a ticket.
Yeah, exactly. Where like they have no control over putting a cap on it, but it's like you said, if they own all the venues, it's like there's no recourse as an artist. It's like if you're playing 2,000 cap venues, where else are you gonna play? But we did play with Train, and they said they promoted themselves at the Forum, which I was like super surprised by. I was like, wow. So yeah, I think it's just
there's some artists that will take that upon. I mean, it's a lot more work.
Yeah,
right?
there's more of a risk.
Yeah, it's a risk, and I mean, listen, I deal with this every single day. I mean, you guys know, I talk to every agent. You know, when they come at me with a guarantee, and I say, well, what if we lowered the guarantee and did a back end, or if you sold out? No, we need this guarantee, right? No, we have to have $30,000. Why do you, if you're not going to sell the tickets, why do you have to have $30,000? I think the smart agents and managers and teams, sort of realize there are times where you can make your money, right? Go to colleges and do these things, and the fee is the fee. There are other times where if you're going and trying to either build a relationship with a promoter or sell a show out or, brand yourself in some of these markets, like you have to take a step back and go, maybe we should take a little bit less.
Right.
Which is crazy. I know you guys are looking at me like, well,
wait,
take a less.
What?
Wait,
take
what?
less
It makes sense.
What?
You're crazy, dude.
Take a less? What's this about, right?
No, it makes sense. It makes
No,
sense.
and I don't want to put any info out there that shouldn't be out there, but shout out Aoki, because I've heard through the grapevine that he does like a special deal where his like Vegas, he'll play an extra hour or something, but he gets like a cut of the alcohol or something, which that's a very entrepreneurial thing for somebody to do.
Dude, Aoki's one of
don't you partner with him on some of the stuff with the Peace Aoki and
we've done things with Steve. He's an investor in our businesses as well. But man, that guy, every time he comes into town, he has like 10 new business ventures that he's into. Like his mind does not stop working from a business perspective. He's one of the hardest. He's the hardest working dude I think I've ever seen in this business. And he's completely sober and focused. And the guy does like 200 plus shows a year on the road. We'll fly, go from Vegas to Boston, to Chicago, fly across. Like the dude doesn't like he's an absolute machine. While again understanding he has a platform as a DJ and a celebrity now, and to do some of these entrepreneurial things. But he by the way, he's huge in the card business. He was one during COVID. He has Aoki's Card House. He was breaking. He would come on and break stuff. Like understood that like this was going to be something big. He was obviously clearly big in the NFT space, and is always sort of ahead of the game and sort of realizing, hey, if DJing isn't going to work out, I have these 30 other verticals and businesses that are
focus on. And luckily he has like a good family that's smart and entrepreneurial as well.
Great team and great management, and
I love his restaurant and Resorts World. It's like him and like his brother or something on the animated car. I forget what it's called, but it's really cool. If you like that clip and want to see another one, click here. If you want to see the full podcast, click here.